with regards to the Congress's latest remark on India taking over the G20 presidency. A Congress neta now having mocked the government drama is what has been cited by Congress leader Jairam Ramesh, who's taken to Twitter, says, and I quote, the presidency of G20 is rotational and India's presidency was inevitable. Previous presidents of G20 have been USA, UK, Canada, South Korea, France, Mexico, Russia, Australia, Turkey, so on and so forth. None of these countries staged a high voltage drama as is being done around India becoming the president of G20 for 1 year. Let me go across to Madhav joining us with more details. On expected lines, Madhav, once again the Congress raking up India assuming the G20 presidency, saying this is nothing new. It's a rotational exercise and India's just blowing this out of proportion, claiming extra credit for it.
Well, you know, the fact is that, unfortunately, each and every aspect of our diplomacy, of our internal security, several such aspects continue to be politicized, and G20 and these latest comments coming in from the Congress appear to be in those lines. To talk about what is the BJP's reaction to this, I have with me Syed Zafar Islam, who is a spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's go across to him. Mr. Jairam Ramesh saying that the G20 presidency is something that is rotational, that none of the other countries who have been given this presidency in the past have had such a high voltage publicity campaign surrounding this. How do you react to what Mr. Jairam Ramesh is saying?
No, I'm really surprised that Mr. Jairam Ramesh, is he not happy with this development? Is he not excited? Is he not feeling proud that India has become president, has been given the opportunity to be president of this G20? This only suggests that they are never worried about the country, they are more worried about the family and their own party and their party leaders. While Honorable Prime Minister, when this opportunity has come for India, he wants to let everyone know it is a moment for everyone, not only for Bharatiya Janata Party, Karyakarta or Bharatiya Janata Party, but for every Indian citizen. It's a moment to cherish, and that's why every Indian should feel proud, and every Indian should know about it. Unfortunately, all these things should have happened long back, but they've never been prioritized by Congress Party and their leaders. Today it is happening because of the untiring efforts of the Honorable Prime Minister, because on global stage India has become a prominent country, and today he is being acknowledged as one of the strongest and the most the prominent leader of the world. And it is that is why it is not only in India but even in globally it is being acknowledged that India is now will be the host of G20, right, and people next 1 year, and every other country is feeling good about it because India is the largest democracy, right, and this should have happened long back.
I also want to read out the rest of his tweet because he not only calls us a high voltage drama, as I was just saying, but he also says, I'm reminded of what LK Advani said on 5/4/2014 in Gandhinagar. He called Mr. Modi a brilliant event manager. That's all there is to spin around G20. So he is in fact using these words of event manager for the Prime Minister.
See, he has nothing else to say. When they are staring a very defeat in Gujarat, that's why these things are coming up. But let the people give them response. Let people of Gujarat give them a reply, because India and Indian citizens across India, they are feeling very happy, and they will really cherish the next 1 year that India will be the host for G20.
Right. Why do we see time and again, you know, issues relating to diplomacy, issues relating to internal security get politicized? Because somewhere there should be a minimum standard that, you know, this is at least a no-go area for politics. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case these days.
See, it is for the political party like Congress Party needs to understand. Purely because I'm sure you will be able to recollect that Rahul Gandhi, just before the National General Assembly in United Nations, he made a statement which was used by the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan. What does that suggest? That he is not overly concerned about internal security, he is not overly concerned about national security, he is only trying to politicize, and his focus is politics, not the country. And that is why it is important for us to highlight it, so that citizens must know that who prioritizes country, who prioritizes the party.
Another question that is being raised by the Congress Party, they are saying that this G20 100 monuments where the G20 logo will be displayed in the night, they are saying that Tipu's summer palace is also included in this at a time when Tipu Jayanti has been opposed by BJP in the state of Karnataka. Is there a disconnect between the centre and the state on this issue is a question that Congress is raising.
I'm not aware of this facts, so I will not comment. I will prefer not to comment on this.
All right, so that is in fact Syed Zafar Islam talking about the BJP's position as far as G20 is concerned, and also of course at the same time saying that this is unnecessary politicization of an issue and an event that all Indians should otherwise be extremely proud of, that is India getting the G20 presidency for the period of a year.
Madhav, while Congress's Jairam Ramesh has taken to Twitter to build on this narrative by the Congress party, this also takes us back to what happened while the Prime Minister was in Bali in Indonesia. And remember how India's presidency, given the politics, that aside, of the G20, which began on the 1st of December, comes also in a fraught moment. At the Bali summit, for example, we saw the divisions in the world over the war in Ukraine, very, very apparent. Apart from that, the Prime Minister also made some very important points on why this is so very crucial, timing-wise, and also the fact that India is now going to be taking center stage to deal with all of those issues.
Well, the fact is that, and in fact, Syed Zafar Islam, who's in fact with us, was actually talking about those issues. I'll put this question also across to him. Syed Zafar Islam, we saw in Bali how the Prime Minister and India played a very important role. In fact, in the draft, it was also acknowledged that India's position that now is not the time of war. These were the words used by the Prime Minister on previous occasions as well. That was accepted and made part of the larger draft. So at a time when the Prime Minister has been seen very publicly engaging with other world leaders, and India, in that sense, arriving on the global stage is playing an important role, this kind of politics from Bali to even now, as far as G20 presidency is concerned, only continuing.
See, Honorable Prime Minister, whenever given the opportunity to put India on the global map, he has always done it, and Bali is no exception. He has always, without exception, I would say that from every single platform, global platform, he has spoken what is important for the country and for the people of this world. So this was another opportunity for the Honorable Prime Minister to speak his mind, what is good for the people, for Indian as well as the other citizens of the other countries, and not war. And he spoke in detail about it, and something which the global leaders had also acknowledged.
Madhav, stay on with us. We'll come back to you in just a bit. While you continue with that conversation, let me quickly, in the meanwhile, go across to Congress's Udit Raj, also joining us on the phone line. Mr. Udit Raj, what do you make of this statement coming in from your colleague, Jairam Ramesh, taking to Twitter saying none of the countries who have been given the presidency of G20 earlier have staged such a high voltage drama as is being done around India becoming the president this time?
That is true. Mr. Modi, BJP, they make everything event management, and I just it had not happened anywhere in. And what happened? The summit which Modi ji in Gulf country attended, and afterwards all hype was created in media that.
But why, Mr. Udit Raj, are we playing this kind of politics? While India continues to assume that post, India is also going to have a certain challenges. It's going to have to navigate the divide and the grouping over a couple of issues that are very, very relevant at this point in time. Why this kind of politics internally being played?
Now I know it's a BJP channel. Let me complete, otherwise I will quit it.
Sir, false accusations not permitted, sir. It's a question which is very valid at this point in time. These are diplomatic efforts being made on part of the country. Why internal politics?
Not permitted, then I'm quitting it. Thank you so much.
Make your point, sir. All right. So there you have Congress's reaction coming in, once again playing politics over India taking over the presidency at G20. Let me go back to Madhav on that. Madhav, you heard Congress's Udit Raj there, continues to support what Jairam Ramesh said while he took to Twitter to slam the government, said that never before have things been spun around like this, never before have we seen this kind of a hype around any of the countries assuming the presidency.
And anti-national slogans, and they always propagate their mindset, which is primarily to break the country and break the society. This is another equation where they are attempting to that, but and being supported by extreme left and left parties, and even Congress has supported such forces which is disruptive which actually wants to break the society.
All right. Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP also joining us on the phone line in the meanwhile. Shehzad, what do you make of Jairam Ramesh's tweet? He says presidency of G20 is rotational. There's nothing new. None of the countries ever have made such a big deal about it as India is.
This is a historic occasion that India is now taking over the presidency of G20, and for the first time the G20 summit will be held in India, and that's the occasion of 75 years of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. But instead of celebrating what is a great national honor and the entire world is celebrating, the Congress party is doing Rajniti over something that is a matter of Rashtaniti. The Congress party is putting Parivar above country. The Congress party is putting Dalhit above Deshhit. This is a time when the global crisis is going on in the world, economic crisis, domestic, diplomatic crisis, crisis of war, crisis of COVID. India is emerging as a bright spot. Economically, we're the fastest growing, largest economy in the world. People have looked at us towards COVID management and vaccines. People have looked at us for, taking forward the international trade and international relations. And at that time, India is being celebrated. Congress is in Matam mode. This shows the mindset of the Congress. For them, Parivar is equal to the Desh, and therefore they can't fathom that the Desh is doing well across the world, and they can't fathom that India is reaching these heights. First, they objected to the logo. Now they are objecting to the presidency and the summits that are going to take place. What is the mindset of the Congress? In virod of one person, you start doing virod of the Deshhit, you start doing virod of India's accomplishments, you start undermining India's achievements at a global platform. This is true of the Congress culture and character.
Okay. And not the first time, Shehzad. We've seen this take place, this kind of criticism come in and pinpointedly towards the Prime Minister ever since we saw those developments come in from Bali as well. And the fact of the matter is also that, the role of a peacemaker is never easy with the G20, which includes diverse members with their own geopolitical choices. So why are we internally, engaging in this kind of a political war of words while the focus must be on our international diplomatic choices?
This is because Congress party is a grouping of compulsive cynics and Nawabs of negativity. Congress is a grouping of compulsive cynics and Nawabs of negativity, and therefore when India does well, because the Parivar is not doing well, the Congress party has a problem and they are in Matam mode.
They're saying that, this is rotational. It was inevitable. One day or the other, 1 year or the other, India would have assumed the presidency. So why such a hype about it?
नहीं तो वो अपने टाइम पर क्यों नहीं करवा पाए कुछ भी? Why didn't it happen during that time? So, this kind of argument is very, very, I think it just undermines what India represents in the world. The world is saying that India is the epicenter of hope. India is the epicenter of taking forward the global dialogue on economy, on peace, on sustainable development. But Congress, for them, Parivar matters more than Desh.
All right. Thank you, Shehzad Poonawalla, for joining us on the phone line. We have Manojit Mandal of the TMC also with us here on the broadcast. Mr. Mandal, what do you make of this? Jairam Ramesh taking to Twitter, once again questioning the very idea of the BJP, the central government, raking up this issue beyond as expected, says this is rotational. The presidency of G20 was inevitable, was to come to India sooner or later. So why this hype?
So we really would not like to comment on the Congress stand because they have different issues. They are a different political party. But the stated position of the Trinamool Congress is absolutely clear. We are fully with the government, central government, on the issue of the foreign policy. There is no question about, how the government is functioning. But the only thing that we would perhaps want, the government should consult more with the opposition leaders, especially inside the parliament, regarding the foreign policy. Otherwise, I think we are absolutely at the same page with the government on the foreign policy.
Okay, but would you also criticize then this kind of remark coming in from a Congress leader, given, how this is to be viewed globally and this kind of internal politics must be kept at a distance?
I think that the Congress party has to judge. We are very clear on this, that when it comes to, the representing India in the foreign, soil or the foreign policies with our neighbors and so on and so forth, we are fully with the government. Again, our only complaint would remain that the government should at least speak to the opposition leaders, especially when it comes to a state.
So you're saying greater consultation with the opposition leaders perhaps, but no comment to what Jairam Ramesh is tweeted about. Thank you for that, Mr. Mondal. All right, more reactions coming in, so we'll quickly put out those reactions. Listen in.
And even Jairam Ramesh has also tweeted that this is being done on a rotational basis. So what do you want to say about that?
हमारे मीडिया के जो सर्वोच्च व्यक्ति हैं, जो के उन्होंने एक बहुत सटीक बात कही और आडवाणी जी को भी कोट किया। ये कौन सी बड़ी बात है, हर देश बाई रोटेशन होता है। ये संगठनों का आपस का एक बहुत पुराना स्थापित परंपरा है, तो वही हो रही। अब चूंकि महंगाई पे बोल नहीं सकते, बेरोजगारी पे बोल नहीं सकते, देश पे जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कह दिया, जिस तरह नोटबंदी हुई तो उससे देश बर्बाद और तबाह हो रहा है, इस सब पे तो कुछ बोल नहीं सकते, तो यही कर रहे हैं। आडवाणी जी ने जो कहा था वो सही ही कहा है, हमारे चेयरमैन ने जो कहा है मैं उसका अच्छा सा समर्थन करता हूँ।
It's another Congress reaction coming in, and once again asking pointed questions to the BJP on why is it that the mudda of the day is not being focused upon by the BJP. Inflation, price rise, those are the issues that the Prime Minister, the BJP, the central government must talk about. Instead, they are on and on about the country assuming the G20 presidency, which is nothing new.